Ladies and gentlemen, today is a bit of an L. Today is a bit of a sad day. More of a serious video today. I promise it's the fact that I'm wearing this shirt is a coincidence. It's just the first thing I took out of my drawer. I promise. Henry Ruggs III, a wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders, number 11. An individual with an extremely promising career ahead of him, at least up until this point in time. I'm making this video as a Raiders fan, and no, I'm not defending this guy. No, I'm not backing him up. But Henry Ruggs III, I guess former now Raiders wide receiver, was recently involved in a DUI crash, resulting in the burning death of this lady and her dog. Tina Tinter was the name of the victim of this crash. Rest in peace. My condolences as always. And it was reported that Henry Ruggs was traveling at above 156 miles per hour, which eventually ended up causing this entire crash in the first place. He was also under the influence of alcohol, I believe twice the amount of Nevada's legal limit. And I mean, one of the many things I have to say is just how much of an idiotic decision you'd have to make being in this, being in this prime of your career with this amount of success on your back, letting down your entire team, letting down all of your fans, your family, letting down yourself, and literally killing somebody and her dog, all because you make one dumbass decision that results in literally your entire life being flipped upside down within the matter of seconds. I mean, prior to this crash, my man was, I believe he came from Alabama, college football, drafted onto the Raiders, led them to a decent record last year. A pretty good record this year so far. We're 5-2 as of the time of me recording this video. I mean, that's pretty good for the Raiders, this is the least of my worries, but the Raiders, almost never get good wide receivers. I'm just going to put that out there. And Henry Ruggs was, just one of the good wide receivers we had at least last year. I mean, there are a couple of good ones. But, I mean, that's the least of my worries. The Raiders performing well is in no way really part of this whole situation. It's just really astonishing to me. Me personally, I used to play football heavily in, high school. High school football was my passion when it was a thing. And I have since, separated myself from football. I'm not really doing it anymore because I'm pursuing other things. But back then, I would have given almost anything to have a promising NFL career. That was my dream. And to see somebody who has received such a, prestigious career, such a lucky career that only a very small percentage of people, get the privilege of having. To see somebody take that opportunity and completely squander it, and take advantage of it, and, more so take it for granted, it's really disheartening to see, especially from somebody who I previously believed to be somebody I looked up to as far as football went. I never really played wide receiver in high school, but he was still nonetheless one of the people on the Raiders that I looked up to, and it's just really tragic to see this whole thing. And I mean, it's almost like the entire Raiders franchise right now is just falling apart. I mean, we had John Gruden being a fucking idiot, fucking being racist and shit, being homophobic and shit, being sexist and shit, and emails to fucking NFL executives. It's just all of this shit that's happening to the Raiders team right now is just easily avoidable bullshit. Being caught being racist to fucking NFL executives and shit. Getting in a fucking drinking and driving. I mean, come on. And again, I want to emphasize, the effect that this has on the Raiders team is not the point I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to be we're gonna have a fucking losing record now. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say it seems like there's a correlation between all these people on the Raiders doing dumb shit. Many of you Raiders fans probably remember Vontaze Burfict, one of the most talented linebackers the Raiders had received in a very long time, fucking obliterating people's skulls and shit, trying to give people concussions. They ended up suspending him. People just being dumb as fuck. And I'm not saying Henry Ruggs is dumb. This is just a dumbass decision. This is textbook example of what not to do, regardless of, what profession you may hold. Driving 156 miles per hour, getting in a vehicle whilst inebriated is already just says enough about your moral compass. But not to mention, he was also with his girlfriend, who could have also prevented him from doing this as well. There's this whole video of him and his girlfriend sitting on the fucking pavement, him fucking cussing and shit. I don't believe that the audio was recovered from this, but I mean, there's this whole fucking video. He's sitting on the ground with his fucking girlfriend and shit, cussing, angry. There was a whole news report about it. I mean, look at this fucking wreck and shit. There's this whole fucking... And there's a whole investigation going on. He was already dropped from the Raiders, which, I mean, honestly, it sucks, but I think it's probably honestly what he deserved. I mean, he took someone's life. He deserves, I would say, jail punishment. I don't think he deserves to, have his entire life taken away by any means, but I think he needs some sort of punishment to reform himself, to make sure this never happens again, so that he learns from his actions. As much as it sucks, I do support the NFL in dropping him from the team. I mean, obviously they're going to need to, because he's probably going to end up serving some form of jail time. I'm not guaranteeing that. I'm not a fucking lawyer, but it's probably going to happen. But I mean, it's just, what is with all this horse shit with NFL players, man? Look, I can get it, that it's a mistake. But this is a mistake that you cannot afford to make. This is a mistake that you have to put effort forth to prevent beforehand, because if you make this mistake, you're taking someone's life away. A lot of people may say, yeah, this is just a mistake. This is something, that we can move on from. But it's a lot more than that when you look at the grand scheme of things. This is somebody's entire life that was stripped away because of one singular pivotal decision. One singular pivotal moment. You choose to get in that fucking car while you're drunk. And sincerely, rest in peace to this girl. I mean, the whole Raiders team is probably in a very bad place right now. I mean, we just got our fucking coach fired for being homophobic, when there's literally the first openly gay NFL player to play in a regular season game ever is on the Raiders right now, as John Gruden's being exposed for being homophobic. So that's kind of a fucking an awkward situation. And now one of our best wide receivers is like fucking... He just killed somebody in a drunk driving accident. Like, you're betraying your team, you're betraying your fan base, you're betraying yourself, your family, any person involved with the actual victim of this crash. I mean, it may look like you just messed up one singular life, but you're really messing up your life, that person's life, and any life involved with that person and yours. Your family now is going to have to suffer through you probably being incarcerated, and any peer, friend, or family member of the victim is now going to have to suffer from the loss of their loved one. I don't know why people keep really defending this guy. I understand, yes, it is a mistake, but it's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I mean, thanks for listening to me rant if you did. And I rest in peace to this girl who sadly passed away. And I guess I will see you all in the next video.
Try and say it with a straight face, because I've already been emotional about every bit of this. But to the family, to all the families involved, no one ever wants to see this, whether it's a football player or not. You never want to see something like this happen. And it broke my wife and I's heart, honestly. And, we talked about it a little bit, but I can only talk about it so much, In my own life, I've experienced loss. And so I know that feeling. And so my heart first goes to the families that are involved, okay? When there's things that happen in life for all of us that we don't have control over. And you wish you did. I have 1,000 questions I wish I could ask, but I don't get those opportunities. I don't understand everything and why certain things happen.